Hello and welcome to Ask Pastor Tim. I'm Pastor Tim Moulter with Calvary Chapel in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Today's question is a very difficult one and yet a very real one. The question is, how should Christians respond to a mandated order to wear a face mask? Now, this is a very difficult question because I don't believe there actually is a one answer solution that fits for every situation. What I mean by that, friends, is there are those with underlying health conditions that would cause them to have further complications if they were to wear a mask. There are those like my wife who are hard of hearing, who wears hearing aids, and make it very difficult if I were to wear a mask that she's unable to read my lips and to clearly understand what I'm trying to say to her. There are other situations where children under 2 are not part of the mandate to wear a mask and yet can also spread the coronavirus. So again, it's a very difficult question. It's a very difficult situation. I will just tell you personally, I believe that this should be up to each individual to make the decision. I don't know if a mandated order is the wisest approach to address the situation, but nonetheless, how should a Christian respond? I believe that we need to be very careful and prayerful in how we respond. We're called to be ambassadors of Jesus Christ. First and foremost, we need to make sure we are in full submission to the Lord Jesus Christ. We are to be at peace with all men if possible. We are to let our light shine for Jesus Christ. We are to love our neighbor as ourselves. Again, we need to show grace. There are those who are going to say wearing a mask they believe is helpful to them and helpful to others. And there are going to be those who say wearing a mask is not helpful to their health and it's not helpful to those around them. We need to show grace on both sides of this situation. I believe that that is the most important aspect of this. The enemy would like to use this to divide God's people. And I think we need to stay united in the Lord Jesus Christ. Again, it's a very difficult time we live in. And I personally wish we weren't put in the situations that we are facing today. But I do believe how we respond to the situations will also demonstrate our submission to the Lord. Now, we are called to do our best as long as the laws of the land does not contradict God's law. My hope, friends, is that by the way that we conduct ourselves unto the Lord, that we can be a part of changing laws that make sense for all people. And until then, that we can continue to show people our love for them by the way we conduct ourselves and the way we respond. So again, we need to show grace to those who are wearing a mask. We need to show grace to those who are not wearing a mask. And we also need to make sure that we're doing our best to submit to the governing authorities as it's reasonable and as it's biblical. Again, if the government says we're not to pray, we're not to read the scriptures, we're not to talk about Jesus, we're not to gather as a church, that's where we need to start really digging in and praying through these situations even more. So I believe we need to have some common sense. I believe we need to have some biblical sense. And I believe this is a time where we can be a witness to those around us. I don't think anyone likes wearing a mask, but I do believe that we can show the world the love of Christ by the way we respond. So I think to wear a mask, to not wear a mask, I think the bigger question is how should a Christian respond? I think that will make all the difference in this time that we live in. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction of where I'm coming from. And I pray that the Lord would lead you and guide you in what's best for you and your family. And as He helps you, that you would hold on to that personal conviction, that you wouldn't push that on others, just as I'm not trying to push my personal conviction upon you, but that we would love one another, show grace towards one another, and know that we are doing the best that we can for each other. Now, if you have a question, you can email it to us at pastortim at ccfergusfalls.com, and we'll do our best to address your question next time here on Ask Pastor Tim. Thank you, and God bless.